What's up, everybody? This is the first episode of J&Wil. This is a new podcast. We're going to be talking about different issues, different things going on in politics, and different things going on in the community, in the world. And it's coming from the perspective of two African-American men. So this is my brother Jay. And what does the J stand for?
J-matic. J-matic. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook. And also I have Snapchat. Most social medias, it's up under J-matic Media. Again, we're here to discuss different politics that's going around the world in our day and time from a grown man's perspective.
All right, so this is episode number 1. And I guess some of the things I guess one of the things we were talking about the other day was what is his name? Charleston White.
Yeah, Charleston White.
Yeah, Charleston White. He do a lot of videos. He talks a lot. He's been on. I've seen him on Vlad TV, some other programs, and he's basically like anti-gangs, anti-Crips, anti-Bloods to be specific. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of people say he has a voice, and a lot of other people say that he's full of smoke. So I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, personally, man, I think he's speaking some truth, man, about a lot of that stuff he be saying, man. He real critical of gangs. That's first and foremost.
Ain't no question about that.
He real critical of people out there that's popular that's in gangs, like Nipsey Hussle and Tookie Williams and all of these guys that are legends in the streets of California, you know, and that's known all around the United States.
And I think that's part of the problem too. I think the part of the problem is what he's saying is that we consider those people legends. I mean, I don't know about Nipsey Hussle. I don't know how he put him in that mix. I think he was more of an artist, but I guess he had that gang mentality too. But I don't think he was promoting like killing people and things like that.
No, he wasn't promoting killing people. But what he was doing was he was a part of a system at one point in time that created. I wasn't raised in California, but created violence, you know what I'm saying, promoted violence and all of that stuff. But he changed his life around, you know, and he went to a positive, he went towards positivity as opposed to being negative, you know what I'm saying? But the way Charles White looking at it, he's like, man, once a gangster, always a gangster, you know what I'm saying? Which he got a right to feel the way he feel, but you know what I'm saying? To me personally, I think Nipsey is a young legend. You know, that's just my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Because of where he came from and where he ended up and how he died, you know what I'm saying? So I think he was a young legend. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't hear about Nipsey. I didn't know who he was until he died. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, because I don't usually follow a lot of the new rap, and I didn't know about that dude until he died. But then after I started researching him afterwards, I found out a lot of things he was saying was true, and he made a lot of sense. And I wish I would have known about him before he died. You know, so yeah. But I don't think I would put him in the same category as a Tookie Williams.
What? No. He's not in the category as a Tookie Williams.
Right. So I think that's part of the problem with Charleston White is he's like grouping people all together, and he's not. You know, I think Nipsey had a lot of positive things to say, and I think his message was like I think he used the gang was a part of his persona, but I think that what he was promoting was a lot of positivity, whereas Tookie Williams, if I'm not mistaken, didn't have his redemption until after going to prison.
Absolutely. After he went to prison, he decided to try to reach out to the gang community on both ends, and he was trying to promote unity amongst the gangs. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like you know, it's this old saying, man, a dollar short and one too late, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? He was in a situation at the time. He had a strong influence while he was on the street, but once he went to prison, he still had a strong influence. But them guys was looking at it like, man, we got to eat. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't stopping nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know. But Nipsey was actually out there in the trenches, man. He actually, you know, out there doing what he was doing. He switched his life around. He was out there making a positive impact on the streets. And, you know what I'm saying? He got killed in the process of trying to become a better man. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of makes him like a martyr, you know what I'm saying, in a way. You know what I'm saying? It makes him a martyr, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have haters. you're going to have your own people going to hate on you, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're trying to do different, you know what I'm saying, than what everybody else is doing. So,
but do it also have something to do with what you promote and what you sing about and what you represent also, and what you put out there to the people? Because I think kind of what Charleston White is saying is that a lot of these gangs, if you look at them, I mean, if you boil it down to its essence, have caused a lot of destruction in the black community.
well,
A lot of gang culture. Well, I mean, what have they brought that was good?
absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just the
So
whole.
if we start from there, and we say, okay, why do we promote these gangs? Why we have grown men in their 50s and 60s talking about, I'm representing the Crips, or I'm representing the Bloods, or any gang, any other gang, or opposed to them saying, I'm a leader in my community, or I'm a mentor in my community? Why is it that we feel more comfortable talking about the Cadillac Burts and the people from other cities who are so-called legends, but if you look at the total record of what they've actually done, it's been more destructive than it has been productive.
Okay.
And I think that's what Charleston White, the voice that he brings to the conversation, is that he's saying something that a lot of grown men aren't even willing to say.
Yeah, he's my. I'm not gonna knock Charleston White. I'm gonna tell Charleston White just like this. Most of the young kids and the younger generation see these convertible Burts and these Nipsey Hussles and these Tupac Shakurs. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, they look at them as like a role model, man. Mm-hmm. They look at them as like they inspiration. How am I going? I'm living in poverty right now. My mama we don't got shoes. We ain't got this. We ain't got that. We ain't got nothing. We warming our house up from the stove. So when they see these guys in the community, whether they doing good or bad,
not having ain't no excuse for not getting.
Not having as no excuse for not getting, but when you are a kid, you are easily to be impressed. You know what I'm saying? So when they see these guys, they don't know what a lot of these kids, when I was growing up, I heard names like Convertible Burt, Musclehead, Stank, all these guys in the streets. They was drug dealers, you know what I'm saying? But all I heard and the stories I heard about them, I didn't think about drugs at the time. I thought about them dudes being in the community, coming through in their nice cars, giving us a few dollars here and there, telling us to go to the store, you know what I'm saying, helping my mama with whatever bill she had or whatever. And I didn't look at the bigger picture at the time, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, they brought destruction to our neighborhood. All of them guys, you know what I'm saying, they definitely brought destruction to our neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? But when I was a kid, I didn't look at it that way, you know what I'm saying? So unless somebody gonna step up and be like, okay, I'm gonna give these, like a Martin Luther King type of attitude, I'm gonna give these kids a dream from day one, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one right there.
I think not just talking about Charleston White and his opinion about it, but if you look at rap music right now in just 2021, we lost a lot of rappers. We lost a lot
of good rappers,
a lot of young rappers. So
Pop Smoke.
And you can go on from there, and you can back up, the King Von and a whole lot of other people. And the thing about it is that that's what they've inherited. And they taking it to a whole new level. And gangs, if you look at Chicago alone, the death and the dying and the killing, and then the fact that, we have our code in the streets, snitches get stitches or don't tell kind of thing. So you can have a killer walk in the street, then he got maybe 10 or 12 bodies, and nobody in the community, want to tell on this person because it's a fear. And those people are oftentimes looked up to, and those people are oftentimes seen as anti-heroes, I guess you can call it. And I think that's part of what the problem is, that we got all this death, all this destruction, and nobody want to speak up about it. And the thing is, like you were saying, that's hard to understand when you're a kid, when I was saying that not have is not an excuse for not getting. But the thing is, these are not grown men. Yeah. I mean, let's not be mistaken. Yeah, we really talking about a lot of grown men with this mentality.
Yeah, and it's a lot of grown men out there with that mentality that's actually out there still doing dirt up under the table. You know what I'm saying? So
that part
they hiding a lot of what they really doing just to try to masking. You know what I'm saying? They bullshit with you know what I'm saying, their unity now. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being genuine with what's going on or realizing that it's a problem out there for real, for real. They're not really trying to stop the problem. I mean,
but nobody is. And the thing about it is we all perpetuate it, because you look at the TV shows like Power, there's TV shows like, I can't name all of them because I don't watch any of them. But the thing is, are we killing each other in those shows? Are we betraying each other in those shows? Are all the negative stereotypes that, people place on us, other people place on us, are those the same stereotypes that we promote and perpetuate in our music and in our TV and in our movies?
Well, that sells. That stuff is selling right now, and it's selling.
But it's death and destruction.
Yeah, it is death and destruction.
If we boil it down, because we got kids killing kids, and then we got kids that are dying, and you got kids that are going to prison, and then you got kids that are not, graduating school. Then you got kids that are not being productive in their communities. Then you got kids that are making other kids, and more kids growing up without a parent. Then you got kids that are, nowadays, if you look at the paper, man, you got more young men, they don't just kill the girlfriend, they kill the baby.
Yeah.
They wipe out the whole family. They wipe out their seed and their girlfriend. So it's a whole different beast right now. And it's like, okay, so when do we say, let's take some responsibility in the things that we listen to and the things that we promote and the things that we say are good? I don't really want to criticize Power because I never really watched the show.
I have. I watched Power. I watched Snowfall. I've watched the BMF, and not because I'm just fascinated by those same stereotypical plots.
I'm glad you watched them, because you can have a perspective that I don't have.
Yeah, I definitely watched them all, man. I kind of like the shows, what I'm saying, because I kind of grew up in those eras, what I'm saying. So but it's entertainment. It's entertainment.
Yeah, but I grew up in them eras with you.
Yeah, you did.
And we was around the same stuff.
Yeah.
We grew up during the 80s, and we both in our 50s and early 50s. Yeah. And we grew up, we were born in Miami, Florida. And so I remember being in Ohio, where we lived in Ohio. Remember that?
Yeah.
I remember being in Ohio in the maybe 84, maybe 84, 85. I'm going to speak for myself. Okay. So about 84, 85, we were in Ohio.
I was in 9th grade. You was in probably about the 7th grade.
Well, this is when, no, I'm talking about when I went to the 9th grade specifically.
So that was 86. That was 86. That was like the heart of the
So this is a specific time. Okay, so 86. So before the 9th grade, though, 8th grade ends, we go to Miami. And in Warren, we knew about freebasing. Because, my mom was old school.
We was from Miami.
My mom was born in Miami. And my mom, she was old school. All her friends was old school kind of thing. And my mom was a hustling type of woman. So she knew all the hustlers in the community. So we knew about freebasing even then, where a lot of people didn't know about it, other than Richard Pryor catching on fire.
It didn't even exist in where we grew up at in Ohio. They didn't even know about it. It didn't even hit the city yet.
If you didn't know, you didn't know.
Yeah, it didn't even hit the city.
And if you did know, you didn't tell nobody.
Exactly.
You didn't talk about it.
But it definitely didn't hit the city.
But when we went to Miami that summer, crack was on fire. I'm talking about crack was in say if there was the first stage of crack, and then the community goes to the second stage of crack, say 4 stages, and then it got 3. They were already in the 3rd stage. Yeah. They was advanced in Miami. I'm talking about they had it down to a science, man. They had young boys, hitting their mom in the head with a baseball bat so they can get money to go get crack already.
Yeah, by 86,
it was on fire.
It was full-fledged by 86. Started with Richard Pryor probably in about 82 when he burnt himself up.
Well, you can Google that on there and find out what year he did that. I don't want to put no bad info. Oh, that was 82 when he came up?
Yeah, about 82. Okay. 82. Yeah.
All right, so we know about crack and all that other stuff. And I remember us being in Miami and we were selling drugs. And, because our cousin was right in the heart of the Pork and Bean Projects. And so she was selling drugs.
Shout out to the Pork and Bean Project, man. They rejuvenating them now, man. They done remodeled them and everything, man. And turned it all the way around. Yeah, for sure. Shout out to the Pork and Beans, man.
It's going through a metamorphosis
15-5, man. Yep.
But I remember us being out there selling dope all the way into the middle of the night, man. Until 5 in the morning. I'm talking about we was young kids. Yeah. And so we made our school money that way. And then we went back to Ohio because a nickel rock at that time in Miami was worth what? 50, 25?
50, $100 in Ohio.
So you more than double, triple your money. And so I remember
quadrupled your money.
Right. So I remember going back to Ohio And we missed part of the school year, like maybe the first 2 or 3 weeks. And so we started late. And I remember being in science class, and the science teacher wanted everybody to do a report on drugs. And I said, okay, I know I'm gonna do my report on crack. Since I was down there selling crack, I'm gonna talk about it. I didn't even write a report. I just took up the blank sheet of paper because I kept putting the report off for so long. He finally called my name, and I was like, oh, I forgot I was supposed to do a report. I just went up there and talked about my summer. And I just had a blank sheet of paper, and I pretended I was reading off of it. And I told him what a nickel was. I told him what tricking was all about.
What grade was you in, man?
In the 9th grade. I was talking about tricking. I was talking about how crack make you lose weight. These kids didn't know nothing about that. They never even heard about that. Even the science teacher was blown away.
Yeah.
Sitting back in his seat, man, and I said the crack side effect of it was it made you lose weight. And I said, but there was a real fat girl who used to buy dope off of me almost every other day, and she wasn't losing no weight. So maybe she was eating a lot, maybe because she was smoking weed, and that made her eat a lot. And they just bust out laughing. The teacher was laughing. And when I got done talking about crack, he grabbed my sheet of paper, and his eyes almost popped out his head when it was a blank sheet of paper, and he put an A+ on top of it, a blank sheet of paper.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah,
straight up and down.
That's those experiences that we live. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff we're going to talk about on here, man, for real is going to be stuff that we actually did. This ain't
right, but being as though we went through it, because you went to prison, I went to prison.
Right.
How many times did you go to prison, though?
3 times. Last time I did 17 years straight in the feds.
That was the last time.
That was the last time.
All right, so I did 2 times. And remember Florida?
Oh yeah, that wasn't prison though. That was county.
That was a boot camp.
That was county. Yeah.
Nah, but it was a boot. I had to end up going to a boot camp.
Yeah, but that was county.
It was sweet time. I'm not trying to drag it out and make it no bad. It was a drug case.
Yeah.
I did over a year.
Yeah, that's right. You did. I forgot about that. We was this.
Right. So but we learned our lesson. And it took a while to learn our lesson. But the thing about it is, we went through the experience and being as though. We remember when there was no such thing as gangster rap music. Remember that?
Yeah, definitely.
Remember, because the first hip hop was to the hip, to the hop, you don't stop the rock. That was the first stuff that we heard. Hey, that was the first thing.
Guys back in there, coming out of New York, yeah, they wasn't on no gangster rap.
That was the first thing. And then when gangster rap came out, it was more or less, gangster rap was...
Easy them.
Yeah.
Early Easy
Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys was sort of gangster. But Easy.
Yeah, Ghetto Boys was gangster. That was gangster rap, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
But Easy.
But the thing is, hold up, Master P, Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, Ice Cream Man.
When those came out, it was more or less like, we felt like they was talking about our lives. Because the more they talked and the things that they talked about, we felt like, damn, because we were selling dope at that time.
Yeah.
We was out there doing that at that time.
In high school.
We was going back and forth from Ohio to Florida, buying drugs and coming up and flipping money at that time. So those dudes who really wasn't doing that when they started out, they just wanted to make have some records. And so they started talking about stuff like that. And so we
was living it.
We were living it. But rap music has changed since then, because now it's life imitating art. Now the young people listen to the rap songs and they want to do what the rappers are talking about. Whereas before, when rap started, it was them talking about the condition of the black community and them being reporters and them reporting on the condition.
Right.
Whereas now these rappers, they creating the condition.
Right. Wow, that's deep.
They creating the condition by what they're saying and the things that are coming out of their mouth. And these kids are falling into the condition and whatever is coming out of the masses. It's no different than the Pied Piper. That's the same story. As we can go back to when we were young kids, and what he did, he didn't get paid by the community. So what he did, he took his flute and all the kids followed him, and they followed him where? Into the water, and they drowned. That was a Pied Piper. So it's not art imitating life, the rappers being the reporters. Now it is the rappers are in charge and they're laying the foundation, and the kids are blindly walking into stuff. And they're picking up things because it's being normalized.
And that's true. That's true. Like you say, back in the day, you had people like, let me see, coming out of New York. You had a lot of KRS-One. You had Boogie Down Production. You had Public Enemy, and they all was talking about the condition of the community. Now you have guys out here pretending like this is what they do, and the kids looking up like saying like, dang, I want to be like them. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
even if you go back to Tupac did that too.
Yeah, Tupac, absolutely.
He
Tupac
talked about
was
the
a
condition.
legend.
He talked about
The
that. That's all
condition.
he really did.
Yep.
Unless he
That's
was,
what I come up on.
unless he
Tupac.
was beefing, and then he talked about that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But if he
Exactly.
wasn't beefing, if he wasn't talking about all of the court cases, all of the people trying to take his money, all the dudes trying to fight him when they see him, and everybody pulling up on him, he was talking about the condition of the community.
Yeah. Dear Mama, you know what I'm saying? Hold your head up. All of those legendary songs. You're right.
And rap flipped after that. Rap flipped. And now it's at a point where, you know, you got these rappers, they put in a song how many people they don't smoke. They talk about, they'll go at a grave site of a guy who got killed and shoot their video and talk about him and how they had something to do with him being killed.
Yeah.
That's the kind of, that's what we up against now. I mean, if you look at Chicago alone, you can go to a whole bunch. You can go to Texas. You can come here to Florida. You can go to Tallahassee. You can go to a whole lot of different places, man. And
you go to Warren, Ohio, and Youngstown,
Ohio, and you'll find black people killing black people
all day. All day.
Black people abusing black people mistreating black people. It's normal. It's almost like it's normalized.
Yeah, and it wasn't like that. Let's say 50 years ago. I'm gonna say. 50.
It was bad. No, man, we got in the fight. It wasn't what it is now.
Yeah, it's definitely not what it is now.
But what was going on 50 years ago is what led up to what's going on.
Well,
because what was going on 50 years ago wasn't what should have been going on then either.
Well, reason why I say 50 years is because that's where I'm at, my age. So, you know, before me it was 1960 to 69. You know what I'm saying? Around the time I was born, you know, it was the civil rights movement. Blacks were really trying to stick together for change. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna say, you know, after I was born, you had guys coming home from Vietnam. You had guys trying to adjust to society, and then they ran to heroin in the 70s. Then 80s was the crack era. Then 90 was, you know, kids watching their parents, you know, use drugs. It was just like
we got away from it takes a village to raise a child mentality. You got away from the village mentality, because when we were growing up, even though all of that was going on, if people in the 70s was doing their little dirt, they tried to keep it away from the kids in most cases.
Right.
Because my mama grew up a hustler.
Right.
And she had plenty of hustlers in our house, in and out our crib. And my mom threw parties and did sets in the basement. She did all that stuff. Fish fry,
make some money,
chicken, and all that. Be selling some shots. And that's how she hustled her little bit of money. So me and my brother, you know, we go downstairs in the basement just to ask mama if we can make some cereal.
Yeah.
You know, don't tell him what you see when you creep down there.
Man, I was dipping in that little change thing she had up there sitting on the counter.
Right, you know
what I'm
so,
saying? But you know, we kids.
But even with that though,
but it was harmless.
There was sort of a shielding of the kids where, you know, my mom still protected us. My mom still made sure we was all right, and she was a little bitty thing back then.
Right.
And we didn't get, and when she was around, we was cool. Right. And when she brought friends around, some of them people still alive today, them some old school players who we still love and care about, and still the same to this day.
Shout out to Sis.
Yeah, there ain't no question.
Shout out to Sis, man.
Shout out to Benny.
Yep, shout out to Benny Graham.
Yeah, man, come on, man. May.
Oh, man, for real.
Come on, bro. We just keep it real, man.
Some people that came around my mom that to
good
this day
people,
man. Still living, older.
May ain't here no more. R.I.P. R.I.P. to May. Yep. She ain't here no more. She passed away.
Ain't
but
that your mom?
Yeah, man, that's May.
She passed away?
Yeah.
I ain't know she passed away, man. Rest in peace, Miss May.
May. Yeah. So and not just her, man. People like Jatis.
Yep.
You know, we can go back, man. But y'all don't know those people. But I'm just saying. I mean, James the writer. Come on.
Oh, Carl Underwood.
Ain't no question.
People that's been up
Miss
there.
LMA.
Oh, my granddaddy.
Mr. Mosley.
Mr. Mosley, yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Mosley. You know, so
there's so many. Miss Walker.
Mr. Tom.
Mr. Tom. He can talk about, these are all people that that was on our ass when we was kids.
Right, man. So you can be 3 streets over, and you can be up there cussing and saying some stuff, and somebody could tell you to close your mouth and to be quiet. Nowadays, you tell a kid 2 streets over to stop cussing, and his whole family come from the next street, and you got to fight everybody.
Man, that little nigga gonna be like, what you talk about?
Right,
you
so we've gotten away from that, you know, and we gotten away from
and that's why,
what it used to be. But go ahead.
And that's why I say, like, you know, it's black on black. You know, it's been here, and I ain't gonna get me wrong, it's been here, but you know, from based off my reading and from my experience, you know, I'm 50 years old, 50 years old. I'm in that age. From 69, 60 to 69 was civil rights. Blacks was fighting for something, you know what I'm saying? They stood for something, 70s, I was a kid, but I wasn't exposed to a lot of what was going on in the 70s, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we have definitely evolved into a beast, you know what I'm saying, from the 70s to 2022, you know what I'm saying? I've watched it, and it's not no good. It's not good at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my personal opinion,
And so, I mean, I agree with a lot of the things that Charleston White says, but the thing is, what's the solutions? How do you get people from this toxic mentality, this go for self type of mentality? How you wake these kids up? How you keep these kids from throwing away their future so early? How do you
So do you think Charleston White is trying to save the kids?
No, I ain't saying that. I'm just saying that he's speaking out. He's saying about the gangs. I mean, he's a double-edged sword. He's a fool because some of the things he says and some of the things he does are contradictions. Like when he's having a discussion, notice this when you see him next time. Whenever he's having a discussion with somebody, they'll let him go first. He usually tries to go first. And then he'll say everything that he has to say. He's going to make all of his points. He's going to hit on some real good stuff. But then he's going to piss you off when it's the other person's opportunity. And he ain't going to let them say nothing. So I don't like that. And that's one thing I've noticed about every interview he does. He does not give the other side an opportunity to speak. So that's corny. Not just that, you focusing more or less on the Bloods and the Crips when there's so many other different gangs,
No, I think he talking about the GDs. I think he talk about
He's been giving some people
the
some
Latin
passes.
Kings and everything.
I ain't heard him, man. I've been hearing him about the Crips and Bloods. I ain't heard him say nothing about the Latin Kings. I ain't heard him because he tried to make it seem like that was the start or that was the beginning, but not in New York. They got all kind of gangs down there. I mean, come on. When we was in Ohio, the Brother of the Hammers.
That's a motorcycle gang.
Okay, but still though, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I think what he's doing is he focusing on the Bloods and the Crips because it come from California, and I think his beef is with some California dudes that California synced. You know what I'm saying? I think it started in California. It branched out to other areas, you know what I'm saying, like Chicago, St. Louis, and it made its way all the way over to New York. I was locked up with some guys from New York.
It's in Ohio.
It's everywhere now.
Right.
But I guess what he's saying is y'all started this mess. Now it didn't spread it like a wildfire. You know what I'm saying? I kill them all. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I definitely don't think that's the solution. I don't want to see brothers killing each other senselessly for nothing.
I mean, that's what's happening now anyway.
Yeah, that's
so
definitely
it ain't
what's
about
happening.
It ain't about that's what needs to happen. That's what's happening.
Yeah, that's definitely what's happening.
And that's what's been happening.
Yeah.
So that ain't nothing new anyway. I mean, but he's right when he say gangs have done more destruction in the black community than white people have.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I agree with that as well.
And I think that, welfare did a doozy on us because if you look at it, what really effed us up as far as the black community back in the 80s, man, because when they started paying, you remember? I know you remember, man, when they started paying chicks extra money a month for having more babies. But the thing is, you couldn't have a man in your house. Wow. But they didn't mind you having more babies.
Wow.
And so they gave you, every baby, they gave you about $125 more every baby. Yep. So you had chicks going out just getting pregnant by random dudes just to add that extra $125. But see, the thing is, that program eventually got cut off. And then the thing is, you stuck still with these babies.
With different fathers.
And they're growing, and these kids growing up.
Without a dad.
And he's not just that. I remember watching a whole bunch of those kids growing up, going to school when this was like a mass generation of kids going to school without proper clothing, just a lot of neglect with parents that were on welfare and they wasn't getting proper clothes. They wasn't getting fed. They wasn't getting nourishment. They wasn't getting taught the right things. People weren't keeping up with their grades, wasn't going up to the schools to see about them. It was worse than latchkey kids. It was a whole new different thing. Kids growing up during the crack era, during the 80s, with both parents on crack kind of thing. I mean, it was really, really bad, man. And a lot of those kids, when they went to school because they felt uncomfortable or they felt bad, they didn't go to school. That was something we didn't have to go through. My mom always made sure we was clean and that we had clothes. Even when she was hustling, even when she was on drugs, she made sure that we was all right.
Yeah.
You know, but then it was a whole different generation that started after us. And from there, it just got progressively worse.
And I attribute some of that too from as we got older, we started seeing younger women having babies. So they wasn't even really old enough to take care of themselves. Right. You know what I'm saying? They trying to raise children. Then they get out here with one of these dudes that really don't care nothing about them, a lot older than them, putting babies in them, you know what I'm saying, and leaving them with the babies. So now you got kids raising kids.
Crack messed up a lot for us.
It did. It definitely did. It messed up the whole community.
See, this what crack did. See, when we was younger, it reversed the roles. See, when we was younger, no matter what, man, and where did Granddaddy stay when he stayed? Where that girl Juliet stayed? What street
that
was that?
On 15th Street over in Liberty City off of 79th and 15th.
In Miami.
Florida.
And we were real young kids. And the thing is, we stayed in one of the worst areas in Miami at that time with our granddaddy. He had two stores down the street and a pool hall.
Yeah, right there on
and
the corner.
Pool, right on the corner, right down the street, about three houses down.
3 houses down.
You know, from where we live.
A pool hall, and then right across the street was
another store. Was a place where the hookers gathered at.
Yeah, right next door was that was a little apartment where
had a strip club down this way.
It had everything.
So and
it was a strip. That was a strip with all the prostitutes.
Right, man. We were just young kids, but if we went down that street early in the morning when we got up to go play video games, and it was some bum sitting on a milk crate with slobber hanging out of his mouth, and he was slobbering and sleeping, and we started making fun of him, we got in trouble. My granddaddy would get in your tail.
Oh, man.
We had to treat those people with respect. So every time we ran into an adult, whether it was a prostitute, whether it was a bum, whether it was a wino, we had to respect them.
Yeah.
We had to respect them because they were still part of the community, and most importantly, they were our elder. But when crack came, crack reversed the roles, because we remember seeing people who my mom were friends with and people my mom respected, a friend of hers who was a mailman. And eventually you seen him, start losing his money and his respect in the community when he got on crack. You saw people who were adults, who had nice cars when we were growing up, who were respected people with good jobs, working at a factory or something like that, pulling up, buying dope. And, it degraded down to the point where you would have women, grown kids, and then you got young kids, 15 and 16, with pockets full of money.
Yeah.
We got the money now.
Yeah.
And we got the drugs that they want.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where, little kids will pay a crackhead money just so they can kick her in her butt.
Man, listen.
Come on. The reverse, that when we was growing up, that could have never happened. When we were growing up, that could have never happened.
Yeah,
but when crack came, you could see young boys lining up to give a crackhead drugs so they can kick her in her butt.
Yeah, I seen that.
That's called.
They had women out there doing push-ups, and I used to be like, come on, man.
Come on. So crack changed the roles, and it changed how we treated each other. It got to the point where you could have a pocket full of dope, and you would sell to your mama. You would sell to your uncle. You would sell to a pregnant woman. Pregnant woman be walking away with her, exchanging money and walking away with dope. You would buy a lady who got about 4 or 5 kids, and she got 4 or 5 kids, and you will buy her food stamp for her that she got for those kids for the whole month to feed your kids. That's what happened with our community. Crack, it was like dropping a bomb in the center of every black community, because we wasn't out there growing no poppy seeds. We wasn't producing no crack. It was coming from somewhere else. But why is it winding up in our community?
Well, that was the government, man. That was the government. That was all systematic.
Well, even if they started it, we perpetuated it.
Yeah, we definitely. What is? Again, that go back to seeing a little kid watching somebody in the neighborhood, and back then we didn't have rap role models. There was a few out there, but they was, like you said, they was spitting. When we was coming up, most rappers was spitting positivity. You know what I'm saying? They weren't talking about crack. You know what I'm saying?
They tricked us.
Absolutely, they tricked us.
Meaning
who? Meaning who?
The government.
Absolutely.
This is how I'm saying it, because
I agree with you.
They knew we were the perfect generation to pull that on.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why we were the perfect generation to pull that on, because we were hustlers.
Yeah.
We had paper routes.
Yeah.
When we didn't have nothing else, in the wintertime, we shoveled snow. We would go from house to house, and we would make money if you had a shovel. We would make money. We cut grass in the summertime. Yeah. We rake leaves in the fall.
Yeah.
We'd go around and collect people bottles, and trade them in and get money. You got any bottles? And, people want to get rid of that stuff. So we were entrepreneurs and hustlers. People had, like I said, paper routes. When it came down to the candy coming through the school, oh, we want to go sign and go house to house. Anything that we could do to hustle and make money.
Right.
If we can go some summer jobs, go help somebody put a deck together, and he gonna pay me $200. We'd be over there doing it so we can go buy some moped. So we were already hustling kids. So when we saw the crack game, when we first went down to Miami, what was that in the 80s, and we saw that whole little system of if you spend $5. You can make $20. Well, 20. Well, no.
In Miami, it was 5 to 10.
5-10. You're
5
right.
10. Miami was 5 to 10 in Miami.
But you doubled your money. But we figured out that in Ohio, that same $5 was
make
worth
50
in Ohio.
You know what I'm saying?
So we would hustle the summer in Miami and make enough to take enough drugs back to Ohio
to make
money. The real money. And then we got to the point where we would fly back to Miami just to get drugs to fly back to Ohio.
Yeah.
With drugs. I mean, in the same day.
While we
would fly
school.
there, while in school. We would fly there, get drugs, and fly back the same day.
Yeah.
And that's what, but what they didn't tell us was that we were going to help destroy our community. Yeah. What they didn't tell us was that we were going to throw a chunk of our life away going to prison, because prison comes along with that. What they didn't tell us is we were going to go against all the things that we were taught when we were growing up. Like, yes, sir, no, ma'am, no, sir. Just being respectful kids, telling the truth, looking people in the eye. All of those things we were taught, it would degrade that when we see stuff like Boys in the Hood and we start listening to that rap music, because all of that rap music eventually started doing was telling us what to do.
Yeah. And luckily for me, I mean, I like rap music, but I just really wasn't. I was stuck to that one person, which was Tupac. Tupac kind of kept me grounded.
Oh yeah, that was my generation too.
That was my generation. That's my era, man.
Pac was like that.
Somebody to me. He was like, I loved his music, and if it wasn't Tupac,
he kept it real.
It wasn't too many. Face did too. Now I like Scarface.
Oh yeah, no question.
You know what I'm saying? There's a few of them out there. I'm not going, no.
Public Enemy, like you said earlier.
PE was PE.
Man,
they was okay.
Well respected.
They was, you know what I'm saying? But Tupac was my dude, and I love what the message because he not only did he speak the truth, man. He had that music behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he lived a lot of that. So
a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, a lot of people. They ain't doing it today.
You got people like Common.
Yeah, you got Common. Yep.
I'm telling you, what you say, that's a mouthful, because Tupac was one of the only. This is why we loved him, because he was a Common, but he took gangster stuff and he took that kind of sound and put it in a gangster rap. So the same thing that Common says that everybody is like don't really listen to. Well, I'm not knocking Common. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's not a good. I'm not saying he's not a good rapper. But I'm saying he don't get his props.
Right.
Because of what he says.
Right.
And most people are attracted to violence and toxic stuff. Right. So because he don't say that violent and toxic stuff, most people not going to want to hear what he's saying. But what I'm saying is Tupac can take the same type of stuff that Common was saying. What was it? What were some of the songs he had?
Common?
No. Tupac.
Oh, Tupac.
Dear Mama.
Dear Mama.
That's not a shoot 'em up, kill 'em, and I'ma mess you up.
California
Love. Brenda got a baby.
Brenda's got a baby.
Songs like that.
Yeah. I get around.
You would bop to.
Yeah.
And you would be bumping. And songs that would have a message, and you would be repeating that message.
Yeah.
You'd be repeating that same positive message. We'd be talking about black women, keep your head up, and so on and so forth. I mean, it was just certain things he could get off that most rappers can't do.
Yeah.
So that was unique to me.
That's what made him great. And that's what, he's one of the ones, like I say, I followed. So, but I mean, at the same time, we all lived a lifestyle that was presented to us. And if we would have knew the origin of where a lot of that stuff came from and where it was going to lead us to, we would have made different decisions. I mean, I definitely would have, because the way I was raised up as a kid, going to church every Sunday with Miss LMA, going to Boy Scouts every Thursday, you know what I'm saying, and going to Young David's on Tuesdays. These are the things, the choir rehearsal on Tuesdays and Young David's. So these are the things that we grew up in as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Even though we didn't want to go, we had to go. Get your ass in that car and get on down there to that Young Davis meeting. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we don't have today. I think everything now with social media. Plug it up right there.
All right, we just got to end up. All right, this is just our first episode, and we're going to be coming back maybe hopefully once a week and talk about different topics and different things. So we wanted this to be about 45 minutes. We want every video to be about maybe 45 minutes. So we about at now almost 40 minutes. So we're going to wrap it up real quick, and I'm going to turn it over to my brother because he was the one talking about the Young Davids and the different programs that we were associated with and how we don't have those programs right now. So.
All right, so pretty much what we're gonna be doing right here, man, with this this a vlog. This a vlog. It's gonna be considered a vlog or a podcast. Podcast.
It's gonna be in a radio cast, and a video cast, and a Facebook cast,
okay,
and a YouTube, and everything.
Okay, all right, cool. Because he a little bit more educated on all the video stuff.
And then my son, he a little bit more educated than me, so I'll be helping. Putting on him too.
So I put it on him.
Between the three of us.
Yeah. I put it on him. He put it on Lil Willie Jr. You know what I'm saying? But
no, I'm Junior. He's the third.
Yeah, he the third. Yeah, but we here, man. We here. I'm here, man. We're gonna talk about a lot of subjects. We're gonna touch bases on my trucking company. I got a small trucking company as well.
Talk about it. That part.
You know what I'm saying? I started from nothing. It is what it is. I'm trying to grow something, and I want y'all to watch it grow. And hopefully can reach out with other truckers out there, other people out there that want to do something positive and make money without having to be doing the things that we were just talking about today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But as far as this videos and these vlogs and this, I'm on it. We on it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna address issues and we ain't challenging nobody. We ain't trying to confront nobody. We just trying to, just based off of our history of being out here 50-50 right here. The 50-50 club right here. You know what I'm saying? We know a lot. We've been through a lot, man, and we just want to just put it out there, and maybe the right people might gravitate towards us, and we can open up a real dialogue and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much all I got to say. But until next time, we meet again. You know what I'm saying?
And to add on to that, we're going to be adding some interviews in here. We're working on interviewing some people right now. We also have my nephew, his grandson, little Ricky. He's going to be doing a show, sort of a talk show sort of thing. So y'all be looking out for that. And we're going to be posting videos. We're going to be our just daily going about our day. Like my brother said, Jay said he has his trucking company. So he's going to be uploading videos of just regular going through his day type of things. Also, what I do is I run a men's transitional housing program here in Florida, and I'm the shelter administrator, and I run that through the county, and I'll be posting some of my personal development trainings on the video. And then we won't always have this location. We actually are working on an office where we're going to have a deck set up, and it's going to be very kind of comfortable, and we're going to have photography, and it's going to be a media room. But it's not done yet, and we didn't want to wait for our first video for the room to be done because we had to push back.
Time to be waiting. We got a message to get out here,
so we had to push back the date. So we just figured that we were just anxious and wanted to get our first video out, so you all will know what we're doing and who we are. So that's that. Be looking for a lot of good things coming from us, and this is what we say,
j-matic Media.
Yeah, j-matic Media, of course that, but this is the J&Wil show.
Yeah, J&Wil show, of course.
And this is under the umbrella of j-matic Media.
I'm sorry, and I'm Joseph, and that's Will.
Yeah, I'm giving him my government name.
The J&Wil show.
Yeah.
All right.